Hello students, now we are going to learn about normal distribution. Hope you remember the previous concepts. The first one was binomial distribution and the second one was Poisson distribution. Remember, both of those two distributions were for small samples. So when the sample number is small, then when the mean value is small, then we are going to use those two things. But now we are using normal distribution. That means when the sample or the mean value is large, then we are going to use the normal distribution. It's also called as a Gaussian distribution as well as bell curve because it's assumed that in a large number of random variables uh, exactly represented by the normal distribution. Gaussian distribution means it's a contributor's name. Normal Normally ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಕೂಡ ಇದೇ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟಲ್ಲಿ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗ್ತವೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥ ಅಸಂಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಅಬ್ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್, ಓನ್ಲಿ ದ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ಎ ಲಾರ್ಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಇಫ್ ವಿ ಟೇಕ್, so then all the variables will lies in this format. That is the basic assumption here. And again, one more thing, here we are going to use the continuous variables rather than the discrete variable. I hope you remember the continuous random variables meaning. So in the previous two cases we have considered the discrete variable, x value is fixed, so that might be the 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So that is the discrete variable, but here it's a continuous variables like 0 to 5, 5 to 10. So in this format it will be there. So of course this is the formula for the normal distribution. Remember that the normal distribution will be determined by the three things: x, mu, and the standard deviation. So that is the basic things you should remember. So of course no worries regarding this formula because we are going to use the simple one rather than this one. So normal distribution curve. So hope you have seen this much earlier. So all the normal distribution curve will be bell-shaped curve. It will be in this format. And of course, the mean value will lies at the central. So in the left side, it will start from -1, -2, -3, and in the right side, it will be the plus. So these basic things you should remember. So of course, it will continue to the infinite things. So more on this, we can see the properties. See the first one, the mean, median, and mode should be equal. The mean equals to mode, median equals to mode. That means, so this mean value will lies at the central. So mean value should be equals to median and mode. For example, mean value ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 50 ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಆದ್ರೆ ಅಥವಾ 500 ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಆದ್ರೆ ಮೀಡಿಯನ್ ಮತ್ತು ಮೋಡ್ ಈ ಮೂರು ಕೂಡ 500 ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ. ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ವೇರಿ. The next one, the area under the curve should be equals to 1. The total area covered under normal distribution should be equals to 1. So ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇದರ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 0.5 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರೀತೇವೆ, ರೈಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 0.5 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರೀತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಟೋಟಲಿ ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ಸ್ ಟು 1. Should be symmetric at the center. So normal distribution bell shaped curve should be symmetric. So actually if we fold on the center, these two lines should match each other. It cannot vary. So if it is varied, then we are going to call it as a skewed one. And next one, exactly half of the values to the right of the center and exactly half of the values to the left of the center, that we discussed. 0.5 will 50% will be at the right side and 50% will be at the left side. The normal distribution should be defined by the means and standard deviation. Majorly these two things will determine the normal distribution curve. See here, the curve is like this, but the central part, the height of the curve, as well as this length of the curve, so these all determined by the mean as well as the standard deviation. Normal distribution curve must have only one peak, that is unimodal. So mean, median and mode will be the same, and it will have only one peak. So we cannot have another peak like this. So it will be only one mode, one peak actually. So the x-axis, so curve approaches to the x-axis but never touches, extending further away from the mean value. So here the curve can be extended like this, but it will never touches the x or the baseline. ಸೊ ಈ ಬೇಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಲೈನ್ ಅಂತ ಏನು ನಾವು ಕರೆದಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ಇದನ್ನು ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಕರ್ವ್ಗಳು ಟಚ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಕೂಡ ಫರ್ದರ್ ಅವೇ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಮೀನ್. ಸೊ ಮೀನನ್ನು ಪೀಕಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ, ಇದರಿಂದ ದೂರ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ ಈ ಕರ್ವ್ಗಳು, ಬಟ್ ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಬೇಸ್ ಲೈನನ್ನು ಟಚ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. So you should remember these properties of normal distribution. Of course, you can expect a theory questions on this normal distribution. The applications, um, of course, so there are many applications because normal distributions we are going to use in a lot of things in a normal life. Of course, so these are all the major things we have noticed. But further things, of course, if we've seen some of the examples, problems, we can understand this much better. See here, this is the formula we are going to use for the problem. Z equals to x minus mu by standard deviation. So Z value refers to the area in normal distribution. X is the variable that we are going to determine, minus mean by standard deviation. So here, so let us take one example. See here, the mean weight of 500 male students in a certain college is 151 pounds. See here, the mean weight. That means they have made a small survey, and of course, so they did a survey, and in that survey, so they have interviewed 500 male students. On an average, their average or the mean weight is 151 pound, and the standard deviation, it may vary with 15 pounds. Assuming weights are normally distributed, find how many students. So we have to find out the number of students with the weight between 120 to 155 pounds. So it's very simple. 500 ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ನ ಸರ್ವೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಆವ್ರೇಜ್ ವೆಯ್ಟ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿರುವಂಥದ್ದು 151 ಪೌಂಡ್. ಹಾಗೆ ಅದರ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್ ಕೂಡ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ 15 ಪೌಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ 120 ಇಂದ 155 ಪೌಂಡ್ಸ್ ವೆಯ್ಟ್ ಇರುವಂತ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇರುವಂಥದ್ದು ಮೋರ್ ದನ್ 185 ಪೌಂಡ್ಸ್ ಇರುವಂತ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. So see the answer, see the solution part. 120 to 155 pounds ಏನಿದೆ, that we are going to recognize as 119.5 to 155.5. So 120 minus 0.5, 155 plus 0.5. So remember, normal distribution takes the continuous variable. Continuous variables ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. So for that we are going to do this small changes. So if it is the case, so of course I hope you remember the formula Z equals to x minus mu by standard deviation. So here the first thing, x value is 119.5 minus 151. So that means the average or the mean value 151 pound divided by standard deviation 15 pound. So it is minus 2.1. See the second one as well, the standard deviation corresponding to 155.5. So here it is. So 155.5 is the x value minus mean 151 divided by standard deviation 15. So the value is 0.3. So remember the normal distribution curve. So it normal distribution, it will be in this format. The mean value will lies here. So 50% of the value will lies on the left side and 50% will falls on the right side. So here minus 2.1. So maybe it will falls here minus 2.1. and plus 0.3, it may fall here plus value 0.3. So the number of students will fall from this point to this point, minus 2.1 to 0.3. So in order to convert this, so minus 2.1, so we have z values. So we have a separated table called normal distribution area table. So that gives us the actual values. See here, remember it's a 2.10. So for this we need to check the normal distribution table value, area under standard normal curve. So here we should find out the values. So here it is z value and decimals here, and z and the values will be here. So here we need to check 2.1. So for 2.10, it's a 0.4821. So here I'll check. So 2.1. So minus 2.1. So this means 0.4821. And again we need to check this value, zero point 0.3. So zero point 0.3 table value is, of course, we need to check zero point 0.3 table value. 0.3 table value 0.30, it is 0.1179. Here 0.1179. So 0.1179. So 0.4821 to 0.1179. So if we add these two things, we can get the total area in between these two things. So the total area in between these two points we'll get. So these two point is 0.4821 plus 0.1179. So the total area in between these two points is 0.6. So now we need to find out the number of students falling in between these two areas. So total number of students is 500 into 0.6. The area in between these two points is 0.6. So that is 300 students. So that means 300 students in a weight 120 to 155 pounds ಇರ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಸೊ ಇದಿಷ್ಟನ್ನು ನಾವು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಒನ್. ಫಸ್ಟ್ z ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ 119.5 ಪಾಯಿಂಟಿಗೆ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ minus 2.1. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಇರುವಂಥದ್ದು 155.5. ಇದರ z ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಇದೆರಡನ್ನ ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಏರಿಯಾ ಕವರ್ಡ್ ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಏರಿಯಾ ಕವರ್ಡ್ ಅನ್ನ n ಗೆ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ದ ಆನ್ಸರ್. So hope you understood. See the second part. So weight more than 185 pounds. So here remember 185 is the x value 85.5. We are going to add 0.5. So it is 185.5 minus mean 115 divided by standard deviation 15. So it is 2.3. So maybe in a normal distribution it will be like, yes, it will be like is that 2.3. So 2.3 table value is 4.4893. So 2.3 plus 2.3 maybe lies here, 4893. Yes, plus 2.3 maybe it lies here. But the thing is, remember 50% lies in the left side. That means, so here 0.5. So 0.5, the total area covered from this to this is 1. So 0.5 will lies on the left side, 0.5 will lies on the right side. So 0.5 minus the table value of 2.3, that is 0.4893. So the remaining value is 0.0107. So we are going to find out the weight more than 185 pounds. So we are going to find out the area which is more than 185.5. That means more than this one. So above this 2.3. So for that reason 0.5 minus this one. So we'll get the answer, because so from here to here it's zero point 0.5. Zero point 0.5 minus this 2.3. So we'll get the remaining balance. So it is 0.0107. So of course 500 is the total students into 0.01. So it is 500 into 0.0107. So that's simple. So 0.500 into 0.0107. So it is 5.35, or 5 students we can consider. So 5 students are falling above this weight 185 pounds. Above 185 pounds we can get only 5 students. That is the meaning. So hope you understood. But just to check one more problem. So it's your homework problem, you should try this. So 100 light bulbs within a mean life, with a mean life of 120 days. That means the mean value is 120 days, or installed in new factory. The length of the life is normally distributed with standard deviation is 20 days. Suppose like the above problem they have given, standard deviation is 20 days. So how many bulbs will expire in less than 90 days? Less than 90 days. So you should remember, if it is decided to replace all the bulbs together, what interval should be allowed between replacements? If not more than 10% should expire before replacement. So at least to check this one, the first part. So how many bulbs will expire in less than 90 days? Of course, the second part is little tricky, but consider the first one. So if you are doing the second one also, it's well and good, but consider at least you should try for the first one, less than 90 days. It's very simple. 90 means, I'll give some clues. 90 means we are going to consider 90.5. So x value is 90.5, mean value is 120, and the standard deviation is 20. So in a normal distribution, of course, normal distribution we are going to do like this. So we'll get the answer. So hope you will try. The normal distribution, we are going to face two categories of a problem. The first one is like the probability problems, and the second one fitting normal distribution. So fitting a normal curve. So let us take a simple one, normal curve. Fit a normal curve to the following data. Of course, there are two categories. I am going to refer ordinate, sorry, not the ordinate method. I am going to refer the area method, the area covered method. See here, variables they are given. Remember, it's a continuous data as we said for the normal distribution, and they are given the frequencies. So they have given only two information. Only two informations they have given. ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಎರಡೇ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಕರ್ವನ್ನು ನಾವು ರೆಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಎರಡು ಮೆಥಡ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಆರ್ಡಿನೇಟ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಏರಿಯಾ ಕವರ್ಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುವಂಥದ್ದು ಈ ಏರಿಯಾ ಕವರ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ದ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್, ಸೊ ಎರಡು ಮೆಥಡ್ಸ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಮಗೆ ಎರಡು ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಒಂದು ಮೀನ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಇರುವಂಥದ್ದು z ಈಕ್ವಲ್ಸ್ ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ಮೀನ್ ಬೈ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಬಾರ್ ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಮೀನ್ ಮತ್ತು ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಇದೆರಡು ಕೂಡ ನಿಮಗೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ನೀವು ಡಿಗ್ರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿರ್ತೀರಾ, ಮೀನ್ ಮತ್ತು ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ. ನಾಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಒನ್. ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ಸ್ ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಮಿಡಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. 60 to 62, middle value is 61, so considered as a x. And f value, frequency ಅವರು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, that copied here. So x bar value, So I'll consider this 67 as I'll consider 67 as the assumed mean. I'll consider 67 as my assumed mean. So x bar values that d values that we need to find out. So as far as the d value, so d value, the formula is m minus assumed mean a 67 divided by c. Uh, so here class interval 60 to 62. So m value is 67, sorry, here 61 minus 67 divided by class interval is 3. So it is minus 2, minus 1, 0, plus 1, plus 2. So f into d. So here we are going to multiply these two columns. So 5 into minus 2, minus 10, 18 into minus 1, minus 18, 0, 27, 16. So after that f d square. So here f value is 5, d square value is 2 square, that means 4. 5 into 4 is 20. 18 into 1 square, that is 18. 42 into 0 square, 0. 27 into 1 square, 1. 27. 8 into 2 square, that means 4. 8 into 4 is 32. So we just take on the total values. F total 100, FD summation FD is 15, summation FD square is 97. So of course, it's very simple that we have seen in the previous cases as well. See here, x bar and standard deviation value we need to find out. So x bar, it's A assumed mean plus summation FD divided by n into I or C class intervals. So x assumed mean 67 we have taken. So here 67 we have taken a value plus summation of d, it's 15, and divided by n. N is a total of f 100 into class interval 3. So x bar value is 67.45. So x bar is 67.45. Standard deviations formula is, of course, square root of summation fd square divided by n into fd summation fd divided by n whole square into I. So just applied the values. Everything is in the table. We just copied here. So summation fd square. So here it is 97. Remember, 97 divided by n is 100 minus 15 by 100 whole square into 3. So if we simplify this, we'll get standard deviation 2.92. So remember the two values. The first one is x bar 67.45 and the standard deviation 2.92. So no need to panic. ಸೊ ಇದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ತದೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಬಾರ್ ಅಥವಾ ಮೀನ್ ಮತ್ತು ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಇದನ್ನು ಅಷ್ಟು ಇಲಾಬರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಸಿಂಪಲ್. ನೀವು ಇದನ್ನು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ನೋಡಿರ್ತೀರ. ಸೊ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ನೀವು ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ನೋಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಟು ನೋ ದಿಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಬಾರ್ ಮತ್ತು ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ನಂತರದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಫಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಟೇಬಲ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಹಾಕೊಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಈ ಥರದ ಟೇಬಲ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ಬೈನಾಮಿಯಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಮತ್ತು ಪಾಸನ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಎರಡೂ ಕಡೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಅದರದ್ದೇ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ವರ್ಷನ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೇವೆ. ಸಿ ಹಿಯರ್, ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ 60 to 62 ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ 0.5 ಅನ್ನು ಲೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಲಿಮಿಟ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ 59.5. 62 we will add 0.5, so it is 62.5. So same manner for all the class interval. So next one, lower class limit ಅನ್ನ ತಗೊಳ್ತೇವೆ. So 59.5, 62.5, 65.5, 68.5 and 71.5. ಇದಾದ ನಂತರದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ಡ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ, ಇದು ಎಫ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಅದನ್ನು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾಪಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಇದಾದ ನಂತರದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಬಾರ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ಗಳೇನಿದೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಬಾರ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಬಾರ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ 59.5 ಮೈನಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಬಾರ್, ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ 67.45. ಸೊ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಬಾರ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್, ಸೊ ನೀವು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರುವಂಥದ್ದು ಇದನ್ನು ಡಿಡಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಬಾರ್. ಸೊ ಲೋಯರ್ ಲಿಮಿಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ 59.5 ಮೈನಸ್ 67.45. ಸೊ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅವರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಬಾರ್. ಇದಾದ ನಂತರದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಬಾರ್ ಬೈ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್. ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಬಾರ್ 67.45 ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಬೈ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್. ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ 2.92. ಸೊ 67.45 divided by 2.92. Sorry, I said something wrong, I felt. See here, fourth column we have calculated x minus x bar. So from this we are going to calculate. So fourth column divided by standard deviation, minus 7.95 divided by standard deviation 2. Of course, and here, so standard deviation 2.92. So 7.95 divided by 2.92, 2.72. 4.95 divided by 2.92, that is 1.70. So that is our fifth column. So area under normal curve from 0 to z. So here we are going to determine the table values. So table value of 2.72 is 0.4967. So we can check one value 2.72. I'll check the table value. So 2.72, yes, 2.701 and 2. So 2.7 table value. So row value 2.7, column 0.02, that is 0.4967. Yes, so 0.4967. Table value of 1.70 is 0.4554. So like that we'll find out z value here. So after that, area for each class. So x1 minus x2, that means we are going to find out so here we are going to find out the difference between these two things. So here 0.4967 minus 0.4554 is our seventh column. So next one 0.554 minus 0.2486 is our next thing. So likewise we are going to find out the area for each class. After that, last one, expected frequency. So expected frequency is nothing but seventh column into frequency. So 7 into 3 is our eighth column. So of course I hope you understood, but still I'll repeat once again the table. Say the first one, class limit. So class limit we are going to find out by deducting 0.5 from the first one and adding 0.5 to the next one, last one, upper class limit. So 60 means 59.5, 62 means 62.5. So we'll do the same thing for all the class intervals. The next one, lower class limit we are going to consider. So 59.5, 62.5, like this we are going to consider the lower class limit for all the class intervals. Next one, observed frequency is given in that problem. We are going to consider the same thing here. Next one, x minus x bar we are going to consider. Here x means the lower class limit. So 59.5 minus mean or x bar 67.45. So this is our fourth column. So next one we are going to consider for the fifth one. So we are going to do fourth column values divided by standard deviation. So fourth column values x minus x bar deviation. So minus 7.95, standard deviation 2.92. So the value is minus 2.72. 4.95 divided by standard deviation 2.92, that is you have calculated 2.92. So that you will get the fifth column. So after that, the area under normal curve. So for this we need to check the normal curve table. So 2.72, the normal curve table gives us 0.4967. So 1.70, normal curve table will give the answer 0.4554. So like that we will find out the normal curve table values for all the uh, given values here. So after that, area for each class we are going to find out here. So for this, we need to minus the things. That means x1 minus x2. So x1 values, table values here, minus x2 values, we will get the seventh one. So again the same thing here. So x1 minus x2, so we will get this answer. So here again, so this value minus this, so we'll get the this answer. So likewise, we are going to continue. So after that, here expected frequency. For expected frequency, we are going to multiply the columns. So frequency, this column 3 into column 7. So that we'll get the final answer, expected frequency. So this is how we are going to find out the solutions for fitting a normal curve. So for normal curve, the values are like this. 4.12, that means we can get 4, 20.68, 21. So like that we can round off the value. So hope you understood. If you have any doubts, you can ask at any time. So you should try this one or the next one. So they are given. The following table gives the distribution of height of loss first year students of a college. So they are given height in inches, of course, the frequencies. So test the normality of the distribution by comparing the proportion of case being between x bar plus or minus 1 standard deviation, x bar plus 1 or minus 2 standard deviation, x bar plus 1 or minus 3 standard deviation for the distribution of normal curve. So of course, that means fitting a normal curve. Just try for this. If you have any doubts, you can ask at any point of time. So hope you understood the concept of normal distribution. So remember the normal distribution, it's a synonym, Gaussian distribution as well as the bell curve. Of course, the formula and the three determinants of normal distribution, that is x, mu and the standard deviation, normal curve shape and its denotation. So mean or mu plus 1 standard deviation, 2 standard deviation, 3 standard deviation, and of course the minus values. So after that, the important thing is the properties of normal distribution. It's for your theory question, and for your understanding you should remember these properties, the basic assumptions of normal distribution, and of course applications where we are going to use. Of course, we can find two categories of problem. The first one category is regarding the probability of finding the values, and the second one fitting a normal curve. Thank you and all the very best.